Hello! Guys, I am so excited. We have reached the end of the series. So happy. And funny enough, book 14, A Touch of Dead, beautiful cover, which I bought without reading the synopsis, plotline. It is not a book on its own. It's a book comprised of like 4 books. And that was just hilarious to me. Because I'm like, all we have left is book 4. And I'm like, just to realize, book 14, book 13 was the end. Okay, so A Touch of Dead is all of the best parts of the past 13 books that I have covered for you guys. I don't think at this point I have to say spoilers alert, because if you've read the first 13 books, then you're clued up. Okay, so we meet Suki, obviously. Sam Malott, who is a shifter. We meet Bill Compton, who is the first vampire to ever come into Bontar, and the first customer to ever come into Sam Malott's bar. The bar's called Malott's. And Suki, being ever so naive, this is when I did not like her, she wants to serve him, because I don't think he's in her area, because there were 4 waitresses and they each had areas. When I waitressed, I remember doing that. So she serves him, and unfortunately, because he's the first vampire, they don't have the synthetic blood that was developed by the Japanese. So he asks for dry red wine. I'm a big fan of dry red wine. If you know where a girl can get tall horse, call me. Okay, so we also meet Eric Northman, who is the sheriff of Area 5. We meet Pam, who is fabulous. We meet Long Shadow, who steals from the bar, gets killed. And we meet Chow. We meet Marnie the witch, who takes away Eric's memory. We find out that because of the fact that Suki is 1/8 fairy, sorry guys, it's freezing here, so let me just get some sun going here. She's 1/8 fairy, that's why she's telepathic. Jason, her brother, is not. He's about, I think, even less of a fairy. That's why he doesn't have any superpowers. We find out that Suki has a cousin, and her son is exactly like Suki, so she has to train him. What else? Highlights. Alexei Romanov. We meet Eric's father, who is of Roman descent, I'm assuming, because his name is Appius Livius Ocella. We meet Niall, who is Suki's great-grandfather on the fairy side, but she says goodbye to him because he goes to the Fae world, and he closes up the portal between Fae and the human world. We meet uncles, we meet cousins that are fairies of Suki's. Amelia, we meet her as a witch. She by accident turned her boyfriend Bob into a cat. Eventually he is returned to human, and I think they get married. Jason gets married twice. The first time he marries a werepanther. Jason is bitten by a werepanther, but because he's human, he's a half-breed, and him and Crystal can't have kids. Crystal ends up cheating. He gets married to another girl whose name I cannot remember. I'm literally giving you guys highlights. Vampires are out. Some accept them, some don't. They call it mainstreaming. They are vampire politicians that are fighting for equal rights for vampires and human beings, which I thought was really cool. The anti-vampire church is called the Fellowship of the Sun, and is Steve Newlin is the pastor who is pushing that. find out that there are vampire tools. We find out that there's strong vampire holy water that becomes chaotic. There's a werewolf war. We find out that there are were-panthers, were-foxes, were-giraffes, probably werewolves, which we knew. And the werewolves, the were community and the shifter community decide, because the transition of the vampires was smooth enough, they decide they too want to come out. That's not accepted very well. That's when the Fellowship of the Sun appears again and are responsible for the murders of certain shifters and where whatever's in the were community. Suki has her first romance with Bill, but that doesn't work out. She falls in love with Eric while Eric's memory is missing, but as soon as Eric remembers everything, she denies the romance, which really annoyed me. She falls in love with another man called John Quinn, but she just calls him Quinn. He's a were-tiger, but he has a dark past, so she has to break up with him. At the end of this book, Suki is, I would say, is happy, but she's more evolved as a character. She's ballsy. She doesn't need a man to defend her. She kills a werewolf in self-defense. She's just a lot more, she's tougher and ballsier, and she literally wants to just take care of herself, and I can relate to that because that's how I am. I love these books. I am happy to be done with this series, but I find comfort in the sense that in maybe a year I can reread this book because I have a terrible memory, and just I find it hilarious that I'm like, we've got 14 books and this one is literally like book 4.1 and 5 point something and 6 and 7. So it's just like all the best stories, which I think on Charlene Harris's part is very cool. I ordered a book of hers. It's the Cemetery Girl series, which I'm not gonna give away too much. I'm not going to do book reviews on it because 14 videos of vampires and werewolves, it's draining, and I am trying to focus on new content for you guys, and also to get more subscribers from more age, groups, because my age, what do you call it? My age group is just 2 sets, and I'm mostly being watched by females, which is fine, but I don't stand because I have like guy friends who live in Namibia and who live here in South Africa and who live overseas, and apparently no one is watching my videos finished because it's just like 100% of your subscribers is women. But that's not why I do this. I don't do this to gain subscribers. I do this because it's therapy, it's cathartic. I get to talk to you guys like you're sitting in front of me, which is something that I really miss. I just miss, having that choice to get into my car and go watch a movie or go buy 3 books at Exclusive Books. I miss sitting down at restaurants and eating sushi and steak and having cocktails and just, laughing, because life is such a blessing. And I still very much feel that way. But because I am bipolar, I am struggling immensely, which I knew was going to happen because I love my alone time, I do, but I'm an extrovert, and I'm just waiting for when President Cyril Ramaphosa says to us, go back to your normal lives. I love interacting with people. At some stage, once I have, you know, when I'm brave enough, I will go onto like a live stream and, you know, answer your questions. But I think you have to get over like 2,000 subscribers in order for people to want to speak to you. I'm also starting a podcast, which I'm super excited about. I'm going to be the main host. I will have co-hosts. But because it's not going to be consistently one person with me all the time, it's just going to be my podcast. But that's going to come out later, because at the moment I'm very I can't have a podcast just by myself. It just doesn't make sense. I love you guys. You guys are awesome. We're done with True Blood. I'm so happy. Thank you for sticking by me, and you know, stay tuned, because new and exciting things are coming. I have hidden talents that I'm going to share with you guys, so I'm excited about that. Okay guys, I'm going to end this off and say, be careful and always be kind. Don't judge. I love you guys. Bye.